Welcome to Inside the Booth. I am your host, Dan, and we have awesome guests and another co-host and stuff like that. You can see our faces. Hello!
Hi.
Do we have to disguise our voice the whole time? Because I'm going to go hoarse.
Of course.
No. Of course.
Of course.
Is
Let's
that a
do our
frog
radio
in
announcers'
your
voices.
Sunday. Yeah, all that. Hi, and welcome to
Welcome,
Inside
everybody.
the Booth.
Monster mashing.
I'm Dan
Sorry.
the Law Arena here. We have Dreaming Tabitha, and our special guest tonight is Cameron, Sketchy Guy Nevada.
Woohoo! Thanks for having me.
Woohoo! You're
The
welcome.
real
Thanks for being
cowboy's
here.
name.
That's right.
Sketchy guy.
You gotta be, well, when you put Nevada next to it.
Oh,
You know, just
yes.
sketchy guy makes
Oh,
it
that-
sound like a
that
cat
makes it sound like-
burglar, but when you say sketchy guy Nevada, suddenly it's like he's,
Well,
He's
it's
a
kind of
sketchy
weird.
guy from Nevada.
Yeah, sketchy guy being a registered sketch offender and all that stuff. Yeah, that's kind of
I like
bad.
that. I like that actually. A sketch offender.
Well, Tabitha, you can probably relate. Like you go on trips and stuff, and you'll be drawing people in public places, and yeah, you do that with sketching material.
I used to do that in college when I got bored of the assignment. And so we're just sitting around in a circle and I'm just looking around and I'd see other people. My teacher didn't get mad because the whole point of our college course was observational drawing. And so she couldn't fault me for drawing the people around me because I was observing my surroundings.
You still do it though, right?
I don't really draw people when they're out and about. I draw things or landscapes and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, I still sketch. I still sketch. I just don't sketch the
Places
folks.
and things.
Yeah, don't sketch the folks.
Dan, do you
Forget about
sketch?
Every once in a moon. I used
He's
to
not
do
quite
a
as
lot
sketchy
in high
as the rest of
school.
us.
Not anymore.
Everyone, I think, could be a little more sketchy in their life. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I agree.
And if you
I
can't,
agree.
you just rely on other people named Sketchy to provide that for you.
Yes. That's what we do here. I mean, look at this beautiful picture right here.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's
I don't
on
know who
display
came
at
up
the
with that,
Louvre.
but that's like the best. That's it.
That's good.
It's the best one. It does look good.
I feel
was
like
a
I look like
while
a
ago.
vampire.
You really?
That was a while ago. We should get a new one from you. We should try.
That's what I was saying. We may need to update that stuff. Who knows?
Throw in a couple more gray hairs for me,
Wow.
Oh goodness. You can't see now, but I'm not going to turn on any lights. It looks good. It looks good.
It's like roses.
You notice she didn't cover anything up. It was the guys who were like.
Well, I mean, they're strewn throughout. So what am I gonna do? Like, I don't want to mess this up. This looks nice.
There you go.
It does.
Mine's all like right here, and then I have a couple of weird ones up at the top.
I'll never know if mine are right here.
There you go. That's
anyway, we're talking about gray hair when we should be talking to Cameron, Sketchy Guy Nevada, and interviewing you because you just released, right? Or
comes out July.
July, right? You've got an Indiegogo for your new
release.
campaign for your new comic book, right? It's a graphic novel comic book. The Sisters Wolf. Tell us.
Wow, that's a great question
about this project.
Okay, so. Sisters Wolf started out in the back of my head while I was drawing the comic books that are behind Dan. And
nice.
They just wouldn't leave me alone. They actually started off as twin teenage girls, kind of loosely based on the Winchester family from Supernatural. And kind of like the ones behind Dan, I started off with just I'm going to draw a couple of pages. I think I drew a 4-page story with them as teenagers, and it just didn't
kind of like.
It didn't. It didn't work for me. I felt like them being snarky as teenagers just kind of was normal, And I wanted it to be a little more entertaining, so they became 9-year-old twin sisters who happen to be witches fighting evil. To answer your question of whether or not it's a comic book or a graphic novel, actually, it's long enough to be called a graphic novel, but because there's going to be multiple, I still call it a comic book. This is just the first iteration of it.
Sweet.
I'm tweeting this out. I'm not ignoring you.
I thought you were sketching.
Sometimes I have on stream created like some chibi characters and things like that. So
yes, you provided artwork for the book too.
That's right, I did. You can check out my channel for that little featurette there.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was different.
They were almost dead center in the book.
What's dead center? Sorry.
Your artwork.
It's in the book.
It is in the book. Yes.
Ooh,
actually,
nice.
You and another artist that I know, Stephen Yu, out of California, he does the Joan of Arc comic books, and he's doing one for me too. So we'll see how that one turns out. Should get it soon. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be awesome.
That's thank you for that opportunity too. That was pretty fun.
Thank you for doing it.
Give it a try. Yeah, and definitely got the creative juices flowing, because when you were like, and I was like, what's it about? And you were giving me the description, and it's like, all right. And I actually had a different vision in mind, and then you were sending me the pictures. Actually, they were originally my sketch. They were both wielding like these kind of anime long swords that are like these clunky anime long swords. And so when you sent me the images of the characters, and I was like, oh, we have to rethink, because you just kind of gave me a description, but I didn't know about their weapons. So I was like,
yeah, you could have. I mean, you could have had them with rubber duckies and throwing them. I don't care.
I wanted to try to.
There's still time. You can do another one if you want. Just revamp it, however you want to do it. But the girls are kind of based loosely on Brian Thompson's wife, Carissa, and Ado. You know, Ado's his wife, Barbie. So their weapons are named Ado and Brian.
Really?
Because of that, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was really funny because I asked Ado and I asked Brian first, hey, is it okay if I named the girls after your wives? And they were like, this is kind of a weird question, but the answer is yes. So, yeah.
How do you say no to that?
Yeah, it was almost like I was asking for their hands in marriage. It was weird.
Right. Well, because you did not present 5 goats and a laptop, I think it was okay.
Right.
You know.
But there were chickens involved. That's that out loud.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Being able to have that creative liberty and wherewithal to, you know, that's the beauty of creation. Like for us artists, that you can do whatever you want to, sort of illegally. As far as putting those little your own personal Easter eggs inside of it. Nobody, unless they watch the show or know you personally, is going to know about, you know, Ada, you know, and the names and everything like that. And so it's really cool for you. And then, you know, it's kind of like when we go back and we watch movies that we've loved for years and years, and then you know, like Lord of the Rings, 20 years later, we're still coming out with information about the different scenes that we didn't know. And so it's like always, you know, something new around the corner, which is pretty fun and pretty cool. So I like that. See, even like hasn't even come out yet, right?
Nope.
And so we're already learning all these little fun tidbits about it.
Yeah, and you'll actually in the indie campaign, we were just kind of talking about that. There's a level where you can be in the book, and one of the guys who did that was one of the main characters in the other comic book, Blake. So when you see the table where all of the characters are, you see one that's just Blake from the original comic book series, just hanging out with everybody.
So how did that work with? You know, so I would assume you pretty much had the book finished, or the comic book, whatever you had the book finished, and then you have this tier where you can have yourself inserted into the final page of the book. How does that work?
Well, it's a mysterious group of people in like the shadowy side of the Vatican, but it turns out that well, I don't want to give that away. That's
Right.
But
What I meant was more of like, how do you find time to fit everybody in there, or you just kept that page reserved until you
I kept it
reached your
reserved.
goal?
Yeah, I kept it reserved, and
okay.
as they were doing it, I was drawing them in, and then Kelly Stern is one of them, and I asked him, "How do you want to appear?" And he didn't answer right away, so you know I'm kind of impatient, so I just drew him, and I sent it to him, and he goes, "Oh, that looks great, but can I be like a robot?" And I was like,
No, not anymore. Sorry.
okay. And then, well, yeah, no problem. So I sketch a robot. He goes, no, like a Terminator. I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting into IP, but we can kind of work with that. He goes, but like with half the face, I want half the face, my face, and half the face, the Terminator. And then I want to have a tattoo that's my logo. I mean, and I was like, okay, great. So I finished.
You didn't realize it suddenly turned into a commission, did you?
Yeah. I was quite happy to do it, but it turned out really good, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And because of that, actually, it's going to be one of the alternate covers. So
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Yeah. So they're going to get a copy of just the regular one, and then they're going to get an actual physical copy as well of the what I call the console cover, because it has them all on there. So
pretty cool. So all of the links for Sketchy Guy, for Cameron, are down in the description box below. His Indiegogo is there if you would interested in funding the project, and then more information about him can be found there as well. YouTube channel, website, and all of that stuff. So for anybody that may have been new that jumped in here, can you give us what's a nice little back book cover synopsis of the or back of the DVD synopsis of your story?
I mean, like the pitch meeting. It's it's the supernatural meets twin 9-year-old witches. I don't know a shorter way of putting that.
Not a shorter way. Like, I mean, is there a longer way?
Well, I mean, I can give you kind of some of the background that's not necessarily in this book, but we have the twin girls, which come from a long line of witches. They're always in threes, so their older sister is kind of like their caretaker. And along with that, they have a talking skull, which the next book will actually go into a little bit of background with him, but he swore to protect all the witches in the family because he lost his kids. So he's protected and actually there to let them know when, evil arrives. So he's kind of the early warning system.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean,
now you don't have to buy the second book.
Right. Spoilers. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you actually have like several comic books available, right?
Yeah. This is the 5th comic book that I've done in like 2-3 years, something like that.
Now this is the first of the Sisters Wolf, though.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the ground floor, and it is.
How many do you think you'll be making?
Right now, geez, you're asking me the tough questions. I should call my publisher. Somewhere, I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 300 copies. And that's not.
I thought you meant in the series, and I'm like, good God, man! Like,
yeah, in the series. In the series, it's going to be a major motion picture in sometime in like 2094.
Right, it's going to be the Sisters Wolf 17. Yeah, the
this,
remake.
As far as the story goes, I only have the 2 books in my head. But yeah, that
it could
grow.
Could be more. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's nice. Has the potential for growth, I guess, depending on how you're feeling or how it gets funded, kind of thing.
Because it definitely leaves you at the end going, wait a minute, who are these people? So you have to continue the story. And actually, that's the other thing is that it's literally like 2 comic books, but we just put them together into one book. So instead of splitting them up, you're getting both of them at the same time. It's gonna be over
2-for-1 special.
Yes, over 60 pages of colorful glory. Just saying.
Nice. Well, so how did you get into comic book like where to start all of these things. So take us back in time, if you would, to a nice warm summer's day. Maybe it was a crisp fall day. I don't know, when you decided to start making comic books.
Yeah, when I was a young child, I was dropped on my head.
As we all were at one point, I'm sure.
That's a good question. I mean, it's a valid question. I God, years ago, I had designs on being a cartoonist or a comic book artist, and I'm awful at anatomy. So back in the day, they really didn't have the opportunity to do a cartoony version. It was all very serious work, unless there's like a specific offshoot, like Mouse or something like that. There's a couple of other ones that are out there, but they were so vague and had the very specific niche that the style didn't get popular until a guy named Scotty Young started doing the Young Marvel, and everyone started to like, oh, this is great. And then he put out another one called I Hate Fairyland, which was really great. And he inspired me to be okay with my art style and not try to be what everybody else is and just do what I do. The person who's responsible for me doing comic books altogether is Professor G from Professor G and Blake. Actually, I used to hang out with a bunch of people and I draw cartoons of them. And he collects comic books. He has like, I don't know, 38,000 comic books.
Of course.
And
you can't just have one or two.
No, he collects fine art, and he looks at comic books and says every panel potentially could be fine art. And that's how he got into it. So he's really serious about it. If you want to talk about what's the best story in comic books, he can go for an hour. You want to talk about the best artists for, comic books, he can tell you, but he's the first one to tell you, you don't have to be a great artist to be able to tell a story. And he kept at me and at me and at me. And finally, just to shut him up, he said, I'll pay for the comic book, but you have to draw it. So I did the first issue of Professor G and Blake, and just a sample run of 25. And I think I have one copy of it. Everything else was sold out. And then we had to reprint a couple of times, and it actually was pretty. We were featured on the news out here. It was pretty nice. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Did that answer your question, or did I just ramble? Or both?
Maybe yes to a little of everything. I mean,
maybe yes.
It's just it's fascinating. So you weren't gonna. Maybe I misheard, but so it wasn't exactly a route you were going to necessarily pursue. Somebody encouraged you or forced you into it, kind of thing.
Yep. Forced your hand.
Yeah. He challenged me to do it, and I said, okay.
And how long ago was that, if I might ask?
2021.
Okay, so not really that long ago. And so since then, how many comic books have you produced?
Well, the 4 for Professor G and Blake, and then this will be my 5th.
Wow, that's fantastic and really impressive. So do you feel like you've got the knack for it now? You've got it all figured out.
I still need an editor, but I have an advantage. I have other friends now. I have other friends like a guy named Nate the Wolf. He has his own comic book, only he doesn't draw. He writes. So he has to get people to do his artwork for him. And there is a process to it. There's the penciling, and then the inking, and then the coloring, and then the lettering. So there's 4 stages where he's paying people per page to do this work. And it costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to get it going and produced. So when he does his crowdfunding, it's literally to pay for everything that he just shelled out of pocket. And my goal was set at $2,000 because I don't have all these people that I pay. I have a very generous supporter named Professor G, who is my editor, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. And honestly, I've become better as an artist and a storyteller with my art because of him. And I actually feel more comfortable calling myself an artist. I don't know if you remember the first time you guys talked to me, I refused to call myself an artist. And now I'm an artist, dang it.
What made you think that you or want to say that you weren't an artist?
I had this thing in my head that what I was doing was just cartoons.
Okay.
And cartoons weren't really an art form.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I would still consider it an art because you know,
Yeah.
I've watched many cartoons in my younger years.
Yes.
and then last
Last week.
not everybody. Yeah, exactly.
I was
Don't tell
watching
anybody. Don't tell anyone.
I was watching Ben 10 with my son yesterday. So he's 34. I'm just kidding. He is not 34. That's so funny.
Oh wow. That's interesting that you were doing artwork, but you didn't consider it. What made it change that you realized I'm doing artwork?
I think it was the storytelling aspect.
Okay.
Because even though I was illustrating, I was doing caricatures like the caricature for you guys, and I was selling that stuff. I just didn't feel like that was art. And it wasn't until I started doing the sequential stories in the books that I was like, this is starting to make sense. And I'm starting to buy in that this is art. And then someone made a point that actually, I think it was James Coley made the point that, I can draw a caricature and that caricature tells a story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So,
That's
a lot of little things started connecting. Like when I was talking about how I really am terrible at anatomy.
Me too.
I heard someone tell me. Somebody actually told me, look, it's not about getting everything correct. It's about getting the impression that everyone understands that's his arm. That is, that is their hand. And like my daughter was like, how are you at drawing hands? I'm like, no problem. I'll just draw a hand. And then I draw the worst hand possible. But
For real,
it's a hand.
Right?
Yeah. But it's a hand and
These
it's not the
things are
main part of the
hard.
picture. So, it works out.
If you go back and look at old cartoons, like, the Tex Avery era and all this stuff, and you slow down, even in like movies like Disney's Aladdin, and you slow down some of the animations, they have some crazy, I forget what the technique is called. Not technique, but the I don't know, the moment where everybody kind of becomes a little bit like jello or boneless, like all of a sudden they have no skeleton, and so like their head, their arms are just kind of bent in weird positions because it gives this momentum or this movement for the next frame that is a little more, I don't know, comical perhaps is the right term. And so it's kind of nice to know that the professionals do that on purpose, right? We do it on accident, but
no, we don't.
Right. We're just as good as the professionals. We just don't realize it. We're just mislabeling our attempts. We're
artists.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I was looking for my water. I kicked it over. So
gotta hydrate.
It wasn't open. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's the story, and I'm taking to it. You know what? And then there are certain things that stick with you in the process. Like one person said, you need to have a product, not a project. So just get it done. And after I heard that, I was drawing I think I was doing the third book of Professor G. M. Blake, and I was drawing 8 pages a day.
Oh, wow.
Sketching, inking, lettering, sending it to the editor. And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, I haven't even edited this yet and you're done. It's like, can we still change stuff? And it's like, yeah, we can totally change stuff. But that's kind of how I work now. Well, and I have to get it done now. I want to get it done now. And and that's okay. I can, because I can always go back and redraw stuff that I'm not necessarily happy with. I redrew a couple of pages just in this one, and I added more fight scenes and stuff because I just felt like they weren't long enough.
Well, because who doesn't want more 9-year-olds hacking demons to death? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love
kicking some demon butt. Yeah.
I have looked at comic books and graphic novels most of my life, and I'm me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So when it comes to creating the pages to tell the story, because I'm also very accustomed to reading books, and to think about how to take so much information and translate that to these little panels, and some of them are like this big, some are the long ones. Like how do you know which images, what expressions, how big to make these panels? How do you figure all this puzzle piece out for a page?
That's a great question.
I know it is. So tell me, I'm ready.
Okay, so do you know the process of making a movie, right?
Storyboards, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Just essentially it's a whole storyboard.
It's a storyboard, and you're figuring out the shot, and you're drawing it out. Actually, my friend Seth Hippen, who's an animator, he did. I think we talked about him before, but he worked on the Peanuts 3D movie. He worked on the Rio movies. He worked on all those things, and he was saying, "Oh, you should be a storyboard artist because you do the stuff so fast." And most of the artists that work on these things are very meticulous. Like, I'm going to draw a quick head, and they draw a circle, and they do all this stuff, and the head looks perfect. But when you're doing storybook, you don't need that. You just need to know that, oh, that's that character, and then move on. So he was on. Yeah. So like when I'm penciling the book, I start with, okay, what do I have? Where am I coming from on this last page, and where do I want to end up on this page? And then go from there. But it's a really good question, because there's this one disconnect I had. Perfect example where this guy grabs one of the girls and just throws her, right? And the way it was drawn was kind of weird. So I added a panel that actually showed him reaching out to her instead of him in the background. And it made all the difference in the world, just taking him out and adding a panel beforehand. Also, there was another one where I added a panel that was super thin, and all you see is the guy's hand reaching out to grab her. It just, little things like that add to it. And the size of the panels, the way they're situated, definitely make an impact on timing, and on drama and stuff like that. So
I'm gonna assume it's a lot of learned, like anything, it's a lot of learned experience. Like you can have an idea, but then somebody's like, "Nah, what if we angled it?
Right?
What if we threw this awesome thick border around it and put dramatic colors?"
Yeah, colors do play a part in it. I mean, as you know, it's not just the composition, and I think part of the storytelling thing is like, when you read a book, Dan, you remember what those are? Because I kind of forgot. But when you read a book and you see a movie as you're reading the book, that's kind of what you're doing when you're doing the comic book. Is you have the story, and now you got to ask, after you've done the page, am I drawing what I'm seeing in my head?
Oh, that's the hardest part, though.
Oh yeah, and that's why you need an editor, because the whole story, all of the world that they're in, all the background, even though you're not sharing all the background, and you give it to a third party, and they look at it and they go, "What the heck is this?" You're like, "Oh yes, I made that mistake in Professor G and Blake. I think we chopped out like 30 pages of the book. They never made it to publication. I've got. I'm going to back up a little bit. Have you guys ever seen the YouTube channel, the Y Files?
That's yes, I do believe so.
With the talking fish.
It may have been a while.
So
it sounds familiar, but
I asked him if it was okay if I put him and his sidekick Hecklefish in the book, and he said sure, and I was like, "You'd be demons," and he said, "Okay, yeah,
even better."
So I did that, and then I ended up cutting those pages out because it ended up being kind of a Scooby-Doo ending, and I didn't want a Scooby-Doo ending. I didn't want bookends. I wanted it open. So I cut those out, and I actually emailed them to his group, and they're like, "Oh, we love these. Too bad it didn't make it." It's like, yeah.
You mean that the book doesn't end with I would have gotten away with it had it not been for you. It
cleared up the mystery of the council way too early. It needed that cliffhanging note. I think eventually, Yeah, Corbin, I think Hecklefish will make an appearance eventually. But yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I couldn't just come to that conclusion myself. You know how sometimes you know things, but it's not really until somebody speaks it out loud where you comprehend
Yeah.
the information.
Yeah, it's really funny. Someone just said something about AJ. AJ is the guy who runs the show, but I sent him a caricature of him, and then I sent him a separate one of Hecklefish, and he said, "Can you put them together?" I was like, "Sure." So I put them together and sent it to him, and he put them up on his Instagram, which he admittedly says nobody looks at. And then he put it on a mug, and he's sent me and my dad mugs. So there's the only mug that has his likeness on it is the one I drew, and I took pictures of my dad drinking it, and that's like at the end of his videos now. He plays it at the end with a bunch of other people with all their other merch. It's really funny. But yeah, he's a really cool guy. He is a really cool guy. And I'm working. Well, I can't talk about it yet. So
what's the name of that show?
It's called the Y Files.
Y Files.
Yeah, it's if you're looking for the logo, it's a red circle with a white W, F, and a question mark. And if you look at it too fast, it looks vulgar, but it's not.
So look at it slowly, Dan, is what Cameron's trying to say.
Did I just hear thunder?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was loud.
Wow. Yeah, it's loud outside.
That's crazy. That was like, right after I talk about the Y Files. AJ, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well, so what was your did you say this already, what your inspiration for this story was? Like, you kind of touched on some of it, but
kind of, yeah. My daughter loved Supernatural.
Okay.
Like loves it. She's a really good artist. Like,
is she really an artist, or should she just sketch things like her father?
No. Actually, no. She surpassed me in junior high as far as that goes, because she can look at a picture and recreate it in pencil.
Okay.
Done. Like,
wow.
Oh my gosh! Like, you see the thing where the people are like drawing like they're printing. Like a printer.
Yes, she's crazy.
It's not that fast, but it is that good. I mean, it's beautiful.
Wow.
For Christmas one year, she took my dad's favorite picture of my mom who passed away, and she recreated it in pencil. And my dad opens all of his presents. He's thank you. He opens this present and he just starts crying. He's like, it's so beautiful. She's an amazing artist, and she's going to make me look like an idiot drawing stick figures pretty soon. So,
I mean, she probably knows how to draw a hand at least.
Yeah. Knowing how and the ability to do so are completely different in my book.
This is
in
true.
her book, she just no problem.
This is so true. These are strange little buggers to get,
aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a great.
I hate them.
There's a great video on
it's easy to draw.
On drawing, yes.
Yeah, this is easy to draw, right? Okay, now do this and draw that.
Or that. Or
when there's a finger or thumb missing, right? Yeah. With depending on the pose, and you're like
foreshortening is
and it looks
awful.
Really weird because you can't see the thumb, but it's there.
I just did a drawing where somebody is holding something and he's like this, and I was like, oh, you know what? That's cheating. And I had to turn it around so the fingers were on,
I got pictures for references all the time. I've seen somebody actually get a tattoo, if I'm not mistaken, of the drawing reference on their hand. So,
cool.
Where they have the circles for every joint, and then they have the, squared thing like that. And I'm like,
I like that.
I'm not getting a tattoo of that, but I will say I have taken plenty of markers to my hand to do that, and it's so helpful.
My daughter
really
did that
is.
Too. My daughter did that too. You do the lines around the knuckle.
Yeah.
And you do the angled one here because it's bigger on the palm side than it is on the back side because there's like an angle. It's really weird. See, this is the same stuff that you go through when you're drawing a comic book. Just now you're thinking not just about hands, but the story and the color and the I don't know. There's a great YouTube channel that has been dead for like 5 years, but it was called Strip Panel Naked. Sounds awful, but it was amazing, and it was very helpful. He breaks down comic books, color theory in Hellboy, how they use subdued colors, subdued reds, but when you get to Hellboy, he's bright red. He's the focal. Even when there's blood, it's like a desaturated red. So they made all of these conscious decisions. Like fight scenes, the background's going to be green, and everything's normal. It's going to be like an orange or like a tan. It's just all these thoughts that go through into that. That just, I can tell you that Sisters Wolf creating this one has. And learning a lot more, being more comfortable with the medium. I've already changed the way I'm going to do the next one.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the penciling. I'm gonna do all the inking, and then I'm gonna come back and color it, versus doing all of that all at once, going page by page by page by page. I think I created a lot more work for myself, and I also made it harder to kind of merge certain scenes together from page to page.
Okay. So, that was going to be my question of why, but
there you go.
There we go. Beat me to it.
And then when things are kind of normal, you have like the blue coolish tones, but when they start to get into fights, it's going to get warmer and things like that. That's the stuff.
It's kind of like music in a movie. Have you ever?
Yes.
I'm sure you're familiar with The Far Side.
Yes.
Okay.
Gary Larson out of
Gary
Seattle.
Larson.
Yep.
So you know that? Do you remember the one panel? I say the panel, but the one comic where it's a raccoon going towards a stream, right? And got the forest in the background, and you have people in the background. So a lady's playing a flute, another guy is playing like a guitar or whatever, and the caption underneath reads, Mr. Raccoon knew that Mr. Mountain Lion was nowhere nearby due to the pleasant background music.
Because it's set up exactly
it's
right.
True. We watch Jurassic Park. Something bad's about somebody gonna get eaten because the music has changed.
If you take out all the music of these great blockbuster movies, they look awful. Or it just all
Not
these
the same feeling.
Yeah, the exact same sound effects, the exact same people, the everything, but you take out the music and it's just it's a really bad TV show.
Except for Lord of the Rings. It'll always be great no matter what.
All right, so I have speaking of Far Side, my two favorite comics of his were the Cow Family at the Grand Canyon. It's just a picture of cows, right? But what you don't get is that one of the cows is doing this behind his sister's head. So it looks like a bow, but it's actually, you see his arm going up like that. So he's doing the little bunny ears. And then the other one is School for the Gifted.
Yes.
Where the kids pushing on the pool.
Yeah, I had a t-shirt of that one.
That's like my all-time favorite of his. Yeah.
Oh, he had some classic ones. Some of them, because they were before my time, some of the jokes go over my head. So, you have to be in that era to understand.
Yeah, you don't have as many gray hairs as me and Dan. I'm sorry.
You don't know how stressed out I am. No, I mean, it's true. I mean, I understand a lot of the old, I understand quite a few of the references,
that's
but
what it is. It's the stress.
Yes.
It's children. Children give you gray hair, which equals wisdom, right? That's what the Bible says.
Children?
I am the smartest man alive.
I don't know if it's so much children. I think it's more just
experience.
You start to age, you're getting older.
But don't children give you those experiences?
Well, what about the people that don't have children and they still have?
Do they have animals?
Nope. There's people that don't have animals and have gray.
Then they have personal demons.
Right, there you go. And they need some twin sisters come take them down. Oh my gosh.
They don't have a calming. What are they gonna say? Soundtrack behind them.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? You ever seen those reels on Instagram of like what life would be like if music followed us with whatever situation was going to happen next? We'd be a lot better prepared.
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet.
Really great.
What would be your theme music, guys? Go.
Darth Vader's March.
Yeah?
There's March.
It's one of my favorite.
I think mine would be more of like a mellow calm with like river streams in the background.
Oh, you mean like you mean what would you
That
what
would be
we
my
want our
theme.
theme to be, or what do we think our theme would actually be?
What it would actually be.
Oh, well,
think
yeah.
that's what
No,
mine
I
would
think my
actually
mom's
be.
would be Darth Vader's March. But
Wow. That happened live.
she's German. It's okay. I've told her that before. Where I used to have that as her ringtone whenever she called. I love my mom. She's great. I don't know, Dan. What would my theme song be as I traveled around?
I don't know.
Okay. For years, my mom told me that my anthem was Bon Jovi's "It's My Life." So.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Some stadium rock going.
Live forever. Yeah, exactly.
It's karaoke night.
Karaoke night. Didn't say we were good at it, but it's there.
Now we need Phil on here to sing. Come on.
What in the freak?
What? Nice.
Facial hair or whatever.
But it's gray. You can't tell.
I don't know who that is, but that's fine.
You're not that close and personal. Well, then we have the deranged lunatic.
But he's on the down low. He's on the down low, though. That's good.
Dreaming to have the facial hair. Well, thank you. I feel like I've gotten to new heights now.
To the X-Files, huh? Your theme will be the X-Files. Interesting.
Who's that?
Maybe that would also be Dan's theme song, because Dan likes talking about those conspiracies.
I'll be.
Yeah, the illiterati.
I do. That's
All
right.
right, my theme song would be anything from Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson. I guess I don't know who that is.
Can you give
That was
us?
my shock look.
Oh my gosh! Can you give us a piece
Oh,
of?
that was your
music?
shock.
Yes, yeah, that's your homework. I'd play them for you, but I don't have a way of doing that.
All right. What's Jack Johnson? You said
Jack
Goodness,
Johnson.
gotta write everything down.
Phil, you know you want to sing.
American singer songwriter.
He
He's
says, "You
famous
don't want me
for
to sing."
Better to Cure, Upside Down. I Got You, Banana Pancakes. Is that your
Yes.
song, Banana
Oh, that's
Pancakes?
a good one.
That's
That is
gonna be
so
your
good.
theme song,
Your theme song, Banana Pancakes.
Yes.
Why not? Why not?
Let's make it. That's mine. And then I don't know if you guys saw Phil's video. He can dance to it too.
Oh, there you go. Phil does do a lot of dancing stuff.
Oh my gosh. I like big butts. That is not a good theme song.
It's not, as true as it might be for some people. We don't need to know that many personal secrets about each other. I'm just saying. Well,
Yes, Corwin's got it.
I sang the song from Curious George. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
remember that Curious George movie.
Curious Little Monkey.
No, not that. The movie.
The
Oh.
movie
Yeah.
one.
I don't watch no remakes.
It was a long time ago since I seen it, but I know
In a
my kids
galaxy
loved
far,
it.
far away.
Exactly. Exactly.
He's just very chill.
Yeah. I can almost hear it in my head right now.
But
Curious
there are
George.
people that'll say it sounds like the same song over and over and over again, but it's like the perfect music to relax with, like hanging out outside, with
Oh, there you go,
family,
yep.
playing cornhole, frisbee, stuff like that. Here, catch the knife, whatever. Just kidding.
Catch the knife. Mumble
We don't do that.
Okay.
Yards.
Yards. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
great.
that's good.
Backyard roulette. Exactly.
Phil says he's sorry for your eyes, Cameron.
No, don't be. That was very entertaining. I watched it like 6 times. Yes, I'm that guy.
We're all that guy depending on the video, aren't we? Like you
Yes.
watch it and I'll go to the comment section all the time. They're like, I totally watched this 16 times and I can't stop laughing, or whatever the case might be.
Yep.
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah.
I I don't know if we want to not talk about your book anymore, but I do have a question. If we wanted to, kind of
Sure.
do that, is just advice. Like, how would a person get started in creating their own comic books? What advice would you have for people that would want to get started?
Seriously, I would first of all just start. The hardest part of anything is that first step. Obviously, we all know that. But once you kind of have this, I mean, like the sisters, they started off as just a sketch on a plane. I don't even know where I was going, but then I kept the sketch, and then it just kept going. And it was like when you do warm up exercises, and you're some people draw balls, or they draw cats
Trees,
or trees, whatever they're comfortable with. I was just drawing, and I drew this girl, and I was like, oh, she kind of looks gothy. I'm like, okay, I'll play off of that. And then I ended up drawing her 6 or 7 times, and then I saw something on the Wolf Sisters, not the Wolf Sisters, the Fox Sisters, and I was like, wait a minute, I can make that into a story. Well, the Fox Sisters were in their teens and 20s, so that's where that came from. But eventually that was edited down. The important thing is to just start doing it. Once you kind of have the story in mind, then start playing it out and breaking into it. Do it yourself. There's so many options out there today that you should be able to do it, and do it locally as much as you can. I mean, like I said, the first comic book I did sold out. It sold out locally. This is the first year I'm going to be doing Comic Con, so I'm doing a lot more comic books printed out. I'm reprinting the old ones, so I have something to show, tell, and share. And I've got 2 Comic Cons lined up already. So
Sweet.
That's kind of the build. You just got to do it. Just got to do it. And I would definitely say, check out, do what everybody else does when you want to learn something new. Go on YouTube and start researching it. Go online, start researching it. And you're going to find a lot of inspiration from unusual sources that maybe you're on a panel and you don't know exactly how to draw a hand, and you want to look up how to draw a hand, and then that guy says some random thing that helps you with the entire book. So don't be afraid to watch a ton of YouTube, except at work. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do it at work.
Or church. Don't do it in church either.
Don't do it at school either. Disrespectful.
Yeah. My wife's a teacher. I'm obligated to say, yeah.
I only say that because it's irritating when I would go to class and and it's really just because I'm jealous. I'm an overachiever, and while I'm working hard, everybody else is just, doing whatever their piddly stuff, and they still get the same grade that I got. And I'm like, there is something really bad wrong right now.
Yes.
And the ones that are watching because they've got their hands in front of them and their hoodies are up. So, just kind of like,
yep.
This is why artists wear hoodies, to be secretive and to watch YouTube.
I saw
to watch YouTube.
I saw a great meme today that this little girl says, "Mom, when I grow up, I want to be an artist." And the mother says, "Oh, honey, you can't do both. You have to pick one. Grow up or be an artist."
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yes.
So funny.
Yeah, I think it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It is like that.
And I think that's where I kind of lost my faith in, doing anything with my art, was because I felt like I wasn't going to make any money off of it that could support it. And until you actually just do it,
that's it.
You don't know.
It's always a leap.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're not doing it right now, you're hurting yourself, because I was selling my art and I still felt like I wasn't worth, being out there. I don't know how to describe that. And
it is a strange.
I don't think I've ever met anybody with that mentality. Does it have anything to do with your mother? Something in your past?
Right. You never know.
Let's see, doctor.
Right.
No, I think part of the problem I mean, it's like when I do art, I find it really difficult to do the hey, this is how much it's going to cost.
Yes.
And I've
Right.
always had that hang up, and I think part of that comes from a very giving place. Like I want people. It's not even the recognition for me. It's like I want you to be happy, so I'm going to draw a picture. You know that guy on the subway that draws pictures of people.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is for you. He's not doing it for money. He's doing that so they, you know, have a moment where they smile and
millions of dollars on YouTube doesn't hurt either.
it doesn't hurt, no, but I guarantee
but he had to start
you,
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if you talk to him about it, he's probably going to go, yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it. So it's kind of that same mentality. It's, you know, I used to give away my art all the time. Give it away now. And eventually somebody said, you know, you're being stupid, you know. And then I heard a quote from, gosh, and maybe Tabitha knows who actually said this, but somebody approached an artist and asked for them to draw a quick sketch. And it was like Pablo Picasso or something like that. And he drew the sketch and charged the person hundreds of dollars. And this is way back in the day. And the person's like, wait, how do you justify that? Only took you like 10 seconds to do? Because it took me 10 seconds and 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's 50 years of experience that just did this.
That's a great way. I will say that pricing things has always been a weakness, but looking at it from that perspective, you're right. I mean, the hours, the exercise, the agony. I've done 5-hour straight painting sessions, and all of a sudden, like I dropped that paintbrush and my whole body is cramped. I am exhausted, and I didn't even realize. And I really need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, ready? Here's the tip: diapers.
Diapers. Yeah, there you go.
Look, I'm already struggling with gray hair. I don't need to go the extra mile. No, that's a fantastic.
So, Cameron, I've seen some people like at fairs and stuff that do like caricatures and whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever done something like that?
No, and you know what? I find those people are so underrated.
Oh, they are.
They are so underrated.
Sure. I got one done like not too long, well, probably like a couple of years back, and I gave the guy like $40, and he goes, "This is a lot." I go, "That's a lot to you? Then you deserve more, man."
Man, Dan, would you like to come over to my Etsy shop and buy something?
It's kind of the same thing. I think the places where they're at take advantage of the fact that they have that same mentality.
Right.
Because I would love to sit there all day drawing people. I would do it for free. Well, maybe not for free, but I would do that. And, you know,
at least $20, right?
Just to enjoy doing it. But
right.
I'm not in the same position as these college kids or high school kids that have a 4 or 5 hour drawing class, and they come out almost, you know, done with how they can draw. And it's just crazy to me. I want somebody to take that class, by the way, and put it on the internet. I want to take that class just because I want to. I think one of the guys that I really enjoyed his caricatures is Tom Richmond. Do you guys know who he is? Mad Magazine.
Okay. Yep.
You know, when they do the cinema cartoons about like movies and they make like spoofs, he's the guy that does all of the caricatures for that, and it's just incredible. He's like you know, a few hundred, you know, rungs ahead of me, and well deserved. The guy's awesome, but I don't know that I ever want to get to that level. I like where I'm at. I actually like the kind of the style that's coming out of this. So I want to keep that going.
Well, you're finding your own voice.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
I see what Corwin's Pattern Go says. There's an artist at Comic-Cons who does quick sketches. Pretty cool to watch. Maybe that'll be you, Cameron.
I requested Wi-Fi and an outlet so that I could hopefully stream and draw live.
Oh, that would be
that
really
would be
cool.
cool.
on my
Yeah.
iPad. Barring that, I will have a pad of paper and do quick.
Of course,
quick
you got to go
sketches.
back to the essentials,
Yes,
the
yeah.
tangible mediums. How did you, if I might ask, how did you get into Comic-Con? I would think that'd be very difficult.
You know what's it's very
He's like, I know a guy.
so there's this the Silver Age Comic-Con has been going on for a while. Last year I went and the venue was way too small. And it was like claustrophobic. But in that, I was able to meet a few artists and I struck up some friendships with them. And they were like, okay, you just have to go in early and like send in, your request and they'll send you the information and what you need. And, they're very open to that. They want to fill the tables.
Okay.
Right. But when you have a small venue, it's harder to get in. Well, this year they went from this little banquet room to an entire floor of the convention center. So they were in the basement of the Circus to the Reno Tahoe Convention Center.
Nice.
So now they're like, yeah, you want a table? You want a table? They were like Oprah. Here, you get a table, you get a table, you get a table. But you make it when they're emailing you and saying, hey, we don't want your money. We just want you there.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, really?
What an honor.
Okay, cool.
When that happens, that's something big.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple of artists up here that are at that level. So
nice. Because I was going to say, how much is like a table or, like a small space or something?
Great question. They can range anywhere from like $150 to $350, depending on, which place it is, what venue they're using, their costs, obviously. The one we're doing in July, it's we have two spaces. It's me and a couple of guys. We have a group that we call ourselves the Comic Underlords. And if you go to sketchyguynevada.com and there's like a thing that looks like an icon that looks like an eye. If you click that takes you to kind of an idea of, what that is. It's just a group of us to get together, like talk about comics and work on comics together. But we got the two booths together. So instead of paying $150 per booth, they charged us $200 for both. So they're like, we like team ups. Yeah, come on, team it up. Yeah. So I tried to get another guy involved, and he had already gotten a booth, so he was like, damn. So we're gonna try to get our booths together. So that's
pretty cool. So it's just like a big vendor event. I've gone to those, so it's not very different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be in the artist alley section, and there's a few draws to that. The one that's in Tahoe, the tables I think are 150. Which isn't terribly bad, but it is a brand new venue. Like we're going to be the first thing that goes in there.
Awesome. Good for
I'm
you.
excited.
That's really exciting. Brand new book coming out, and then getting to go to these comic conventions and getting to have almost like special entry, if you will, because it's brand new. That's fantastic. These wonderful opportunities are coming for you. And, given what you had told me before the show,
everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. It's just wonderful to see all these opportunities opening up for you, despite that. And it maybe is just the time that is, they say the time is now,
Yeah.
And this is your moment.
That they say where, a door closes, a wall opens.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard it that way, but pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what a window is, right? The opening in the wall. I've never thought about it that way before.
My mom was from Colombia, so there you go.
Oh, Colombia.
True. Anyway.
One door closes, another door opens.
Yeah. Speaking of which, everyone open up their browser, go to the Indiegogo.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to do that. Yeah. I was just about to plug it. Like, check out the description box down below. Yes. Whoops, that's not what I meant to click on. I was going to do that one. Check out his links, the Indiegogo and all that good stuff, your YouTube page, and keep track of Cameron's journeys. And hopefully, if you do live stream, it'll be on your YouTube page, I assume?
Yeah, or yours. I don't know.
Mine.
All right. Dan the Law, Dan the wait for it. law.
Could be somewhere. Phil says, Cameron, that is amazing, dude. I'm happy he's getting all the success that you're getting. Absolutely.
Back at you, man.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's it. Speaking of success, here on Inside the Booth, we
Dun, dun, dun.
just hit yesterday our
Mm.
4,000. Well, last night our 4,000 watch hours. We're at like
hours.
4,010.
Oh,
That's right, everybody. So I was able to throw in the application, and hopefully we're going to get monetized here soon. That's
awesome.
Really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
finally,
was
we're working
happy.
hard. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have been.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
you know, I have yet to watch that movie.
It's not worth it.
It's not. So many lines come out of that.
I mean, you can
So
talk
funny.
to the rest of the Inside the Booth team and they'll disagree with me, but
Yep, we would.
you know,
So, anyways,
Are we going to revamp your look for the new monetization, or what's happening?
we're not letting out our secrets.
we
We're all
can-
about surprises.
Oh, I see how it is.
And we probably will do sometime soon a big celebration stream or something like that. I don't know.
You know what though? You just reminded me. I made special shirts for tonight.
Oh,
Did you get that link, Dan?
Yes, I
So-
did. Where did I put it?
Dan lost
Yeah.
the link.
So
No, I think I put it in the description box, but I don't remember.
So I wanted to make a special shirt for tonight, and I ended up making two. They're available. I'm going to take them down in a couple of days, but I wanted to offer them to everyone who's watching. They're at a reduced price. Dan's going to get the link, or are you going to pull it up? I don't know what you're going to do.
Is it the Sisters Wolf one?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's two of them. There's
Yes,
a
I'm
purple
gonna-
one and a black
I'm
one.
gonna put the link in. Let me just copy this link here.
Just waiting for the thunder again.
I know,
My
right?
computer's going very slow.
Here we go.
If we hear the thunder, can we all go, oh? There we go. Yes. So the first one, if you get a close up on that, it's the two girls, actually, from like the stickers that I was showing.
Hey,
you
what?
guys
They're
earlier.
the same size.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Including her pet rock. And she even has her pet rock on there.
I
which
see
is
that.
nice.
It's so cute.
And then girls, they be vexing.
Nice.
That's something my wife says all the time when she sees me on my phone. Girls, they be texting. Thanks. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to take those down in a couple of days. So if you want them, grab them.
Get them while they're hot. Get them while they're cold. Just get them, and support the artists. Support indie creators, because like a lot of people have been saying, really now's the time. If you've got a creative story that you would like to share, people are hungry and looking for fresh inspiration, fresh stories, fresh characters. And so happy for you, Cameron, that you're doing what a lot of people wish that they could do, dream about doing, and just never maybe have the courage to take that step and do. What is Dan pointing at?
I
Sorry.
don't know. He's
Uh,
is that
just
the
put up
angel
the
or
link.
the devil? Which one are you
Blotting at a
blocking?
net or something. He's just kind of like, while I'm like,
6-shooter Dan the
yeah,
law.
you just kind of ruined my wholesome sleep there. And
I know she was.
oh,
I
I'm sorry.
heard-
I'm sorry.
I heard the battle hymn of the Republic in
I
the
know, I was just
background as she was
getting ready.
talking. All the
Like-
military people humming.
And then all of
right.
a sudden
I was just about to play the American flag in my background, change my lights. My pet eagle was going to make a grand entrance, but he got thrown off. Yeah, he didn't know which finger to fly to because Dan's over there waving it. So ruined my moment, but that's that's all right. All right.
Sorry, that was funny.
No, but I think I need to play this clip for such an attitude as Cameron's going forward.
Never give up. Never surrender.
That's right.
That's the show I did with you guys.
You what?
Yeah, that was the show I did with you guys way back then.
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
Well, you did that?
It's such a great movie. So, I mean.
I love that show.
So, well, here we are. Dan, you got any more questions for Cameron?
My favorite color is blue.
Think, yeah, that's about it. And yeah, when we gonna have you on it? Another time, another day, soon?
Yeah,
not so soon.
Hopefully, yes.
You know, before you get too popular and just disregard us. So that's what those famous people do. So
don't lose my number. I won't. What's your number?
Girls be texting.
Yeah, what's your...
I don't know what that is. Oh my gosh, Phil, I am so sorry to be a proud pineapple man.
Subscribe. Vanquish the like button, everybody. If you haven't already, like Dan already showed, subscribe to the channel if you're not. But if you like what we do here, we go live every Sunday and Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, you'll want to...
Want to ring the bell? All right. Ding, ding.
Sorry. And then Benjamin Joyner saying, hey, gang, Kratz again, and what? Congrats. And glad I caught y'all before you ended for the night. Sorry, I don't speak slang, yo. But be sure to check out the description box for all of Cameron's links if you want to get. I know I'm too white for that, but anyway,
that should be a channel. Tabitha does slang.
I can hit with the jive. I'm all right.
Phil, the fact that you said jive.
I do old people slang, okay? Cat's pajamas, the bee's knees.
Excuse me, miss.
Get jiggy with it, you know.
Speak jive, yeah. What's that? Airplane, right?
Airplane, right? That's where I first heard that from. Oh, I speak jive, Mrs. Brady. Yeah, I speak jive.
There's trouble in the cockpit. The cockpit, what is it? A little room in the front of the airplane? That's not important right now. Yes.
It's been a while since I see that, but that was my favorite part. I wanted to memorize her lines when she spoke.
That would be sweet.
I'm gonna have to work on that. But
we should
just don't want no help. Trump don't get no help.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing but a jive turkey anyhow. Or something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
I haven't seen that movie in like 10, 15 minutes.
Same. I don't remember. 15 minutes. 15 minutes?
Yep.
You watched that tonight, did you?
Yeah, I was going to watch All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah.
But you opted for Airplanes. Close enough. It's the in-between ground. It's halfway there.
Oh, Lordy, I picked the wrong day to quit. Never mind.
Yeah, don't call me Shirley.
Oh.
So anyways.
Oh, boy. Sorry. I kept you guys on long enough. This is past your bedtime.
I know. See, this is why I have gray hair. I don't get enough sleep.
Dan, you and I are her kids, apparently. Because kids give gray hair.
That's right.
Between that and, well, Dan said it could be nothing. So nothing gives me gray hair, too.
Dan, we're nothing to her.
That's right. About time you knew your place. Right.
Look, I have one job on this lousy ship. It's stupid, but I'm going to do it. Okay?
All right, guys. Just so you know your place.
Oh. Dan froze.
Hey, man. Fate. What's up?
Yes, congratulations to everybody.
Why are you guys all coming in now? Like, we're about to end the show. All right,
you know,
again,
everybody, we start at 9 o'clock every day.
How many times we gotta say 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday and Tuesday? Gosh,
That's right. It's
well,
even
I
in
know
our
how much men
banner.
listen, so. I hear a cat.
That was funny.
Better than the paw that came out earlier. Kung Fu
I think
Kitty.
that was a tail.
Oh, my
Male?
gosh.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Thought maybe the paw was attacking the camera.
Lordy. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I
Hey,
hope
thanks
everyone
for being on.
gets out there, supports me while I'm not famous. And then when I become famous, I can personally thank you all on the show again.
Yes,
you go.
that's the plan. I
That
like
is
it.
the plan.
So, well, everybody,
Thank you all for being here.
have a great evening.
That's about it, but no point. I'm sticking to it. Oh my god, he just spit out.